LSU defensive weapon Harold Perkins absolutely burst onto the scene in 2022. Had several breakout games, balled out against Alabama, took over the game against Arkansas, and I think he's up for a very big 2023. But what makes Harold Perkins so dynamic? Why is he such a big weapon for this LSU defense? I've said it before, both on here and on my social channels at JD Piquel. Harold Perkins, now I know he plays a different position, but he reminds me a whole lot of a certain individual that also used to play at LSU, that also played in multiple positions. And that is none other than Tyrann Mathieu, the Honey Badger. I mean, think about the way that you watch Harold Perkins on TV and the way that you watch Tyrann Mathieu on TV. You were always sort of holding your breath whenever he was on the field. And that's one thing whenever it's a running back or a quarterback or a wide receiver. These are two cats that play on the defensive side of the ball. Harold Perkins is must-see TV. Whether he's playing in the nickel, whether he's playing at linebacker, whether he's coming off the edge, like Harold Perkins now, must-see TV on the defensive side of the ball. That means something now. That instinct means something. So we'll talk more about that at the end of this video. But what does make him so effective? Why is Harold Perkins such a weapon? First thought that comes to my mind is he is an answer for whatever kind of problem the offense wants to throw at you. Think back now. Think back to last season when Harold Perkins burst onto the scene. There was a couple of games where he was playing against dynamic athletes. Malik Hornsby, ridiculous 100-meter time in high school. Bryce Young, shaking and baking, arguably the best or one of the best college football players from a season ago. And Harold Perkins was the answer for LSU. Against Arkansas, he's spying Malik Hornsby all game long, neutralizes him, forces several fumbles, gets to the quarterback a couple of times. Like, he was the answer for LSU on that day against what Arkansas had perceived to be their edge with a dynamic quarterback. Same thing for Alabama. He didn't shut Bryce Young down, but he sure as heck minimized the efficacy that he could have had on that game. He was a game changer in that game. Whatever an offense wants to do, Harold Perkins is your answer because he can play so many positions. You want to try and get out on the edge against us and do some screen game on the edge, or you want to run some jet sweep, Harold Perkins holding down the edge. You got a quarterback that can shake and bake and hurt us with his legs. Harold Perkins, man, he's a spy. He's sitting there. He's ready to make plays. Like, he is such a playmaker to me. He's a lot like Flex Seal. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I know you've seen the commercials now. We've all seen the commercials of that spray. You can just spray on anything, and it immediately takes care of whatever hole there was there. Like, we've just seen ridiculous things where they put Flex Seal on a screen door and put it on the bottom of a boat and they're floating in the ocean. Like, that's what Harold Perkins is. He's Flex Seal for this defense. Any problem, any issue that the offense tries to present, Harold Perkins is so athletic, instinctual, dynamic. He's the answer. He's the Flex Seal for this defense. Wore 40 last year, going to wear number 4 this year. Make sure you keep your eyes on number 4 this coming season for LSU. I promise you, he's going to be a game changer. He can take over the game. Did it multiple times last year as a freshman. Going to do it again as a sophomore. No doubt in my mind. Also, another thing to keep your eye on 3 YouTube channel right here. We talk college football every single day. It's May. We're still right around 100 or so days away from college football. And you're watching a video on Harold Perkins and what the LSU Tigers are going to do in 2023. We're cut from the same cloth here now. Come join the party. Be a part of this community. Make sure you're subscribed. Also, follow me on Twitter. Follow me on the gram at JD Piquel. All right? Appreciate y'all for that. The thing with Harold Perkins, another reason why he's so effective, if you're in offense, if you play just a player like Harold Perkins, you play someone who's a star on the defensive side of the ball, typically what do? You try and eliminate them with the game plan. Try and scheme them out of it. What do I mean by that? You play a great defensive end. What are you doing? Running away from him. He's on the left, we're running to the right. Great. You play a really good linebacker, we're going to read him. We're going to do the RPO game. We're going to try and get him out in space and make him so he's away from the play. With Harold Perkins now, you can't do that because he lines up so many places. He's lining up at Mike. He's lining up on the edge. He's lining up at nickel. So what do? You want to try and take him away as an edge rusher? That's fine. We'll just put him at Mike. You can't out-scheme Harold Perkins because he lines up so many places. In addition to that, the reason why that's helpful for LSU, they can then go into attack mode with Harold Perkins because the entire offense can't keep track of him from snap to snap every single time. At some point in time, Harold Perkins is going to get his now. Like, it's just inevitable. Death taxes, Harold Perkins getting his. with all the places he lines up at, it's hard to keep track of. So you can't out-scheme him, and then also you don't know where he's going to be coming from. He might be blitzing from the nickel. He might be spying the quarterback. There was a play against Arkansas when I was getting ready for this video that just stood out in my mind so vividly. It's Malik Hornsby dropping back to pass, and he has a check down available to the running back. Running back runs probably like 3 or 4 yards and just kind of sits it down to be a safety valve for him. Harold Perkins is spying Malik Hornsby, meaning if Malik Hornsby runs left, he's got Malik Hornsby. He runs right, he's got him that way. If he goes and takes a seat in the press box, Harold Perkins is going with him. That was his responsibility. But Harold Perkins saw Malik Hornsby kind of glance at that check down. He felt pressure, he glanced at the check down. Harold Perkins shifts ever so slightly into that passing lane to cover the check down. And so, given just common sense, Malik Hornsby says, okay, he just shifted a little bit out of the frame. I now have a chance to tuck it and run. That would be true for 95% of the population. Except the unfortunate reality for Malik Hornsby was Harold Perkins is within that 5% to where that's not the case. The instincts of Harold Perkins, the athletic ability make it so he's never out of position. To finish that story, Harold Perkins eventually went and sacked Malik Hornsby as he tried to tuck it and run. Big-time play for the Tigers. That's what he is. He's so dynamic. He's so instinctual. He's not often out of position. And even if he is out of position, he's got 4.4 speed, reportedly, that allows him to get back into position. So a lot of times for these offenses, going back to how you try and scheme it up, they'll try and get the flow of a play one way and then come back the other way. They'll try and do some window dressing just to get his eyes mixed up. Even if his eyes are mixed up just a little bit at one point in time, he's going to recover with his athleticism and his instincts. He just has a nose for the football. The athleticism, the instincts, it's hard to game plan for. It's hard to get him out of position and toy with him that way. It's a problem for offenses. So what does this mean for LSU? We've told you why he's dynamic. We've told you what he does well. We've told you what he means on the field. What does it mean for LSU? LSU now, they play a lot of quarterbacks that are going to be mobile. Whoever ends up starting at Ole Miss, whether it's Jackson Dart or Spencer Sanders, they got some wiggle. Auburn, Peyton Thorney's got some wiggle. Arkansas, KJ Jefferson, a load to bring down. Potentially a quarterback with some wiggle at Alabama, depending on who starts. They're going to need him to play a serviceable role there to try and neutralize that. So you feel much better going into those games with Harold Perkins than you would if you didn't have him. Again, he's the answer offensively, or the answer for what they want to do offensively, for what you do defensively. Here's the other thing for LSU. Harold Perkins really came on at the end of the year, so I don't know that he was able to really impact the bottom line statistically as much for LSU on the defensive side of the ball. LSU was 88th in the country in terms of sacks on the season. They were 90th in the country in takeaways per game. Sacks and takeaways, man, that's Harold Perkins' middle name. So if Harold Perkins is able to be a game changer on that side of the ball for LSU, if he changes the outlook on defense for LSU, they get more sacks, they get more takeaways. LSU is going to be an SEC title contender yet again. And they'll be better equipped when they get to that game because of the havoc he's able to wreak, because of what you have to account for as an offense when number 4 is on the field. Harold Perkins, in every estimation for me, if you had to pick somebody on the defensive side of the ball to compete for the Heisman Trophy, you're looking right at Harold Perkins. He's the number 1 pick for me when it comes to defensive guys competing for that Little Bronze Trophy at the end of the year. So Harold Perkins at LSU, primed for a big year in 23. You know how we feel about him if you've watched the over-under win total for us on this channel from our live show, or go and watch the one-off video. But I think Harold Perkins is about to wreck shop on the rest of college football, and I can't wait to see it. We appreciate y'all locking in with us, man. All you good people in Baton Rouge. A lot of y'all have joined us throughout the course of last season. A lot of y'all have joined us recently. If you haven't yet joined the party, you haven't yet joined the community, now's the time. We'd love to have you subscribe. We'd love to have you here at the party. We're on the air every single day. We're live on the air Tuesdays and Thursdays, 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Eastern. That means tomorrow morning we're back on the air, so go ahead, hit the bell notification so you don't miss when we go live. We want you here. Get in the live chat. We'll answer your questions. We'll have a good time, all right? Just a big old college football party. Can't wait to see you there. Trey Yandy lifting heavy. This is your college football show. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. We're going to keep this party rolling. We will see y'all next time. Hey y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.